So I wanted to ask you about most recent news involving North Korea and South Korea. Are you optimistic after seeing the two leaders of those two countries come together? Optimistic about the future?
I'm a realist and a pragmatist, but whenever we can see people moving towards peace, that's something we should all support. The devil's in the details.
Mm-hmm. And what about President Trump's performance so far on that issue? Do you think he's handled it appropriately? And what role do you think he had in
I'm
that
not a
meeting?
fan of foreign policy by Twitter, but I think all of us should be working in this country for peace in all these different hotspots around the world. And I'm not going to take shots at any progress being made towards bringing peace to an area.
Do you have any recommendations for him heading into the meeting that he's going to have with Kim Jong-un?
To work with very seasoned professionals who understand diplomacy and foreign service.
And how about the new Secretary of State? Are you optimistic about him as the head of the State Department?
You know what? If you love this country, you want people like him to succeed. And I love this country. So I'm hoping he will do well as Secretary of State.
Are you optimistic about the future there between the two countries?
Yeah, I'm absolutely optimistic. It was good to see the two leaders shake hands and then cross over back and forth between North and South. So I think everybody should wish them the most success in coming up with an agreement. But we also have to realize that we've been to this point at least a few times before in the last dozen years. And so, hopefully this time it pans out.
And if you read some of the comments on social media from the public on news stories, they're saying Trump gets some credit, Trump doesn't get credit. What's your opinion on the president's role in that meeting, making it happen? Do you think he, gets any credit there?
I think most of the credit goes to the two leaders because they're the ones meeting right now. And in particular to President Moon from South Korea, who basically has a different approach than prior presidents. South Korea, at least for the last several years. But certainly the president in his Twitter wars and feuds and, I guess, bullying of Kim Jong-un, perhaps that encouraged Kim Jong-un to do this too.
And do you have any advice for the president going into his personal meeting with Kim Jong-un?
Just that I hope, as other Americans do, that he'll take the time to prepare. This is a president who one of his strengths, but I think also one of his weaknesses, is that he kind of flies by the seat of his pants. And this is something where we need to clearly understand as best as possible the nuclear capabilities of North Korea and also what we consider to be denuclearization. I think that's still up for a lot of study and debate at this point.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Nicholas Balassi.